Have you ever been told to go and read the book of Job when you're in your trying times? I can tell you for a fact that everyone that has told me to go and read the book of Job to draw strength from it, I will just be upset with you. I'll nod my head. I'll say, okay, and that's it. I will not open the book of Job. I know what Job went through. Why in the world would you want to link my journey to what Job went through? And I will just shake my head and say, okay, I'll do that. Fast forward to when I went to church to talk to a reverend father, and he asked me, have you read the book of Job? I said, God, you mean you followed me all the way to this place? Like, okay. And I said, no, that's actually, you're not the first person, telling me to go and read the book of Job. A lot of people have told me to go and read the book of Job. And I always nod my head and walk away. Or just, okay. But now that you're asking me, no, I haven't read the book of Job. Not recently. And he said, please, I'd like you to go read the book of Job. Maybe you understand it better now that, in this season. And I said, I don't want to read the book of Job. I read it before. And he said, have you read it in the past 7 years of you and your son? I said, no, I avoid it. And he said, can you do me one thing? Read chapter 1. And if you do not enjoy it, read chapter 1 and 2. And if you don't find it interesting, or if it doesn't speak to you, then drop the Bible. Don't bother continuing, with the book of Job. And I said, okay, I'll do that. So I told myself I was going to try. I said, Ada, if you wrote a test in the past 7 years, the Job test, I called it the Job test. Do you know that you would have failed your test? And I nod my head and I say it with my full chest. If there was a Job test to write, I'd failed it woefully. Me. Do you know what I've done with my mouth and my actions? I've lamented. I've cried. I said I'm not praying again. I will now pick up my prayer again. I'll say, okay, but why? I've done all sorts of things because in my head, you see that verse that says if you're earthly, that God loves you more than your earthly father. So I'm like, I complain to my own daddy steady now. So God understands me better and he loves me more than him. But that's not what the Job story taught me. It taught me that the mercy of God cannot be measured, and no matter what you do in your suffering, no matter what you go through, you can never be pulled away from the mercy of God. Nothing can take you away from the mercy of God. As painful as this season of my life is, I know for a fact that God has not abandoned me. He never abandoned me. For as many years as this will take, I know that God's mercy will always, always follow me. And my prayer is that may God give you and give me the grace not to betray his trust in this breaking season of our lives. You don't have to be a mother of a special needs child to understand what I'm saying. Everyone, we all go through something at different points in our lives. And the story of Job tells us how to persevere, how to hold on to God. I know that it's not by our power. It's just the grace of God. I just say Job was just extraordinary. But we also need the grace to be extraordinary like him. And so I'll ask you, just like everybody was asking me, have you read the book of Job?